Hi, this is Mike from Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and on today's video we'll be taking a look at a condenser USB microphone from TONOR. This is the TC30. Is it any good? Keep watching to find out more. Okay, so in today's video we'll be taking a look at TONOR's, or TONOR, I'm not entirely sure how you pronounce that, but hey, it doesn't really matter, you pronounce it however you want to. But this is the TC30, this is a USB Type-C powered microphone kit, which comes with a pop shield, a stand, and obviously the microphone itself. Really nice little kit. Comes in, at the moment, in the UK, at just under £40 at £37.99. They often have bargains and offers on, so obviously do keep an eye on those links in the video description, and you'll see the best price in your local area. You can, of course, if you want to. If you don't want to shop through Amazon and our affiliated links, you can go directly over to tonormic.com. Links with that will also be in the video description, so again, you can check out prices for EU, USA, UK, etc, etc. All the links are in the video description, as I've already said once or twice already. So why would you want to use a USB cardioid mic? Well, there's lots of reasons. I actually, when I'm making these videos, I always use a lav mic, which I'm wearing at the moment, which works really well for me. The room that we're in, completely untreated. This is essentially, basically a dining room. We've got all sorts of things going on in the background. We've got PC over there, PC over there, PC behind me. So there's fans, there's ambient noise. We've got 4 cats as well, which you've probably seen one of them in the B-roll. One of them is currently eating from a metal bowl in the kitchen at the moment, which comes through because here in the UK we have relatively small houses, so unfortunately you can't kind of get away from all the noises around you. So for some people, a dynamic type mic will be preferable because they don't pick up so much noise. Cardioid pickups and condenser mics generally have a much wider pickup and also will pick up external noises, but there is one good thing about them. They are super cheap and super easy to set up, as we'll see when we go through the unboxing. So let's go through, see what we actually get, see the pros and cons, etc, see if it works for you. We'll go through, do some practical sound tests a little bit later on in the video, so you can see what the sound quality is actually like and see if it's going to fit in to your either streaming or Zoom call kind of setup. And then you can make up your own minds at the end, and also I will give you some kind of thoughts of my own, pros and cons, etc, as we wrap up. So let's get into it. So starting off, this is the packaging, as you can see. So this has been sent to us free of charge for review purposes. I should state that straight away. No money has changed hands. They haven't asked me to say anything. Literally, they just sent it, said try it, see what you think of it, and show your viewers. So, well, that's exactly what we're going to do. So as you can see, TONOR TC30 USB condenser microphone. Gives you an overview of what it's like there. It does actually come with a 2-year warranty as well, which is pretty good. Most of these things these days generally come with a 1-year warranty. So yeah, 2-year warranty is pretty decent, although realistically there isn't a great deal to go wrong, especially on this particular one. On the back of the box goes into some of the specifications, so I'll put those on the screen large so you can see them for now. Essentially what this comes down to is a 16-bit 48 kilohertz microphone, condenser style pickup, etc, etc, USB powered. It's got the sound levels and total harmonic distortion levels already on the box, so again you can have a look through that. But let's take a look and see what we actually get inside the box, because that is going to be the most important part of it. It actually comes really nicely packaged, and inside the box you get the usual things. So you get an instruction manual or installation guide, goes through how to set it up in Windows, Android, etc, etc, so you can check that out. Also comes with a privilege card, so you can go over and protect your purchase, all that kind of good stuff. But the real important bit is actually in this box, and as you can see, it comes in this really nice styrofoam. So if maybe you're traveling with this, it's actually relatively small, the packaging, so you could put it in maybe a travel bag or something. If you're maybe taking your laptop and you're doing Zoom calls or interviews on the fly, then certainly this is actually pretty portable, so you could use it in that respect. Most people I think will probably have it on a desk, maybe even on a boom arm. You can use this with a boom arm if you want to. If you've seen the B-roll already and you've seen the little stand and you're kind of, I don't know if I want that, you can actually take off the stand and attach a boom arm, so that way you can swing it out of the way when you're not using it, or get it up close when you want to get kind of intimate with your viewers. Moving on from intimacy, let's see what we actually get in the box. So first of all, you get a 2-meter cable. So this is a USB Type A to USB Type C. So that is a really nice thing to see. USB Type C, we do really need to see a lot more of that on the market. I'm so glad this doesn't have a micro USB or something like that. Those are horrendous. At least with this, you can plug it in either way. That makes no difference. Very, very simple to use. And if you're in one of those setups where you've got a slightly darkened environment, then yeah, very difficult to go wrong with the Type C connector. Next in the packaging, we get the pop shield. So as you can see, we've got a nice little pop shield here, probably about 10 centimeters, and you've got the TONOR branding on there. Essentially what this does is stops plosives. So you put it on the microphone, and when you're speaking, you're up close. Anything which you pop, like Peter picked a piece of pickled pepper, rather than spitting all over the microphone and getting those plosives come through, this will help absorb them. Now it doesn't remove them entirely, and it is going to be dependent on your own speaking style and the gain control, all that kind of stuff, but certainly this will go a long way to help reduce it. Also as well, it will stop you getting right up close to the microphone. So because this is going to have a gap of roughly about an inch or so between the actual pop shield and the microphone capsule itself, if for some reason you're one of those people that gets really up close, then this is going to stop you actually physically touching the microphone. And last of all, we have the microphone itself, which comes kind of pre-assembled actually in the stand. So it's actually rubberized, so you can just pull it out, and there are elasticated bands which actually suspend the microphone. So what this does is actually isolates the capsule itself from the rest of the surroundings. So with the stand, and actually for those of you that are interested, the stand legs are actually metal, and also on the end there we've got these little rubberized balls on there, which again will help to absorb some of the vibrations if you're one of those people which is gaming, using a keyboard and mouse, and you're slightly more aggressive, to help stop some of that vibration and those bangs coming through into the microphone. Not only is it suspended in the rubber diaphragm there, it also is isolated by those rubberized balls on the bottom, and also they act as anti-skid as well. So if you try and move it, it will move a little bit, but not a great deal, and it stops it from kind of skating around. This is actually adjustable. Sadly, it's only adjustable in one direction, so it's only got the movement there, as you can see. You can hold it in place, just turn the thumb screw there, and that locks it into position. And if you want to, you can leave it slightly looser, so there is a little bit of movement there. If you're one of those people that kind of moves around and you want to adjust it on the fly, then you certainly can do that. If you want to, you can unscrew the legs, so that unscrews on the standard connection there, and then you can screw this into one of those boom arms. TONOR do sell those separately. There is a separate kit with that, so again I'll put some links for that in the video description. You can pick them elsewhere relatively cheaply, so again I'll link those for you should you want one. Now to assemble it is actually very straightforward. All you need to do is grab your pop shield, and you can stick that through there, although really it's probably best actually thinking about it to put the microphone in first. So let's take a quick look at the microphone. So the microphone itself actually looks really nice, and you wouldn't think that it was plastic, although it is predominantly plastic. The only thing on here which is actually metal is the grill on the top, and also in the side sections there, which is covering up the actual microphone itself internally. Again, it is a condenser microphone, not a dynamic one. But yeah, it's all plastic, but it doesn't really look cheap and tacky. It actually looks pretty decent. Got the TONOR logo on there. Nothing else on there really, other than you have got the USB Type-C connection on the bottom to actually physically connect it to your PC, laptop, Xbox, whatever. Well, actually probably not Xbox, but PlayStation, those kinds of things. You can plug those in very easily from that connection. There's no other options on here. You don't have a gain control, you don't have an on-off switch, anything like that at all. It's literally is plug and play. And speaking of which, when you do plug it into your essentially Windows machine, it will pick it up as the microphone. It will say TONOR TC30, and it will default set it to the highest possible settings. So that is going to be 16-bit audio at 48 kilohertz. So that's going to be set up for you straight away. You've probably seen on the screen, or are seeing on the screen now, my recommended settings. So you want to go into the microphone settings. I would suggest possibly removing or lowering the gain down to somewhere between the 60 and 70% mark. I actually recorded the segment a little bit later in the video at 70%. You can raise it if you want to, but you may find with the gain being too high, you might find that your microphone starts clipping a little bit. Again, try it, see how it works best for you. You may find, because you've got a certain distance from the actual capsule itself, that you find it 100% it doesn't clip. So yeah, do find the best settings for you. If you do find that the microphone doesn't sound right, it's more than likely because you've got your gain setting way too high or way too low. So let's put the whole thing together and show you what it actually looks like assembled. So get your legs, screw those into the bottom. Obviously that is going to come pre-done actually in the box. Then all you need to do is to actually insert the microphone through the rubberized section here, which is pretty straightforward to do. And what you want to do is try and make it so that the TONOR logo is actually right inside of the frame. So it's roughly kind of centralized within it. That is, for me, the best settings. You can obviously, if you want to, you can twist that around so the TONOR logo is actually on the outside, which you've probably seen from some of the B-roll. Again, entirely up to you. Next thing to do is to attach the pop shield. Now there is a little indentation in the top there, so all you need to do, line it up on the top, push it into place, and that essentially is it. So you can see there is a gap there of somewhere in the region of just over about inch and a half. That is probably the ideal setup. You don't want the microphone being pushed all the way forward like this, because then it's not going to do what it's meant to do. The cloth or the mesh is designed to kind of reduce airflow and wind flow and those plosives, pops, etc. and if it's too close, it basically won't do its job. So you need the microphone to be a little bit further back, again, about 50%, and that should be absolutely perfect. Once you've done that, then you can obviously open up the legs and put it on the desk, get it ready. And this is one of the things which, for me personally, I find a little annoying, but it's not the end of the world. And that is the fact that there is no rotational movement actually in the frame itself. So for me at the moment, as I've got this tightened up, it's kind of off axis, a little bit OCD, but I like it so that the frame is like that and the mic would be pointing towards me. So it's kind of like that and the legs are off. I know it's a stupid thing to say, but it's one of those little things which annoys me and it may annoy you. So I'm just trying to point it out. This isn't the perfect device, but it seems to be pretty close to it. Anyway, so that's the microphone setup. Ideally, you want to have a microphone set up so that the actual capsule itself and possibly the pop shield are somewhere in the region of about 6 inches away from your mouth when you're speaking. This way, then you can lower your gain slightly in your audio recording software, and then obviously that will reduce the amount of excess noise that it picks up. If you've got the mic further back and you've got your gain raised, then obviously anything else is going to be picked up as well. So if you've got, like us, you've got cats, you've got daytime stuff going on, maybe people working in their gardens or whatever. At the moment, I've just heard our refrigerator condenser or the pump kick in, so possibly you're hearing that through this microphone. Again, you can adjust your settings to try and wipe out that as much as possible. Anyway, I think that is pretty much it. The only other thing you need to do is obviously get your USB Type-C cable, and very straightforward, very simple to do. Literally just plug it in the back, plug it in the other end into your PC or laptop, whatever it is. Totally plug and play, no drivers required. It will just plug and play. Like I said, you can go into change your settings. That isn't tightened up enough. If it does do that, then just tighten the thumb screw and it will stop. So that is the perfect situation. Because of the way that the capsule is actually positioned in the microphone, you want that top section pointing directly towards your mouth. If you have it so it's slightly off axis, like this, and it's picking up on the side, you aren't going to get such a clear performance, as you'll see from the sound tests, which we'll go through now. Okay, so this is a test of the TONOR TC30 USB microphone. We're actually over on the tonormic.com website currently. So I'm going to go through, actually just do a quick run through, go through some things, obviously mouse clicks, keyboard use, that kind of thing, and we'll also look at some of the background noises. Now, to give you some idea of the setup at the moment, we've got the TONOR mic on the desk in front of me, and the microphone is approximately, I would say, somewhere in the region of about 6 inches along those sort of lines. So this is probably about the best way of doing it. I did actually turn to the side then. So this is me actually turning my head to the side and talking off axis. This is me talking to the microphone directly, and this is the microphone talking on the other axis. So hopefully you should be able to hear some difference. This is a condenser based microphone, so it isn't a dynamic mic. So condenser mics generally have a much wider pickup and also do not require as much power. Dynamic mics generally tend to be powered. This is solely using the USB Type-C interface, and hopefully it's coming through nice and clearly. We've got the pop shield installed currently, and in Windows at the moment we've got the volume or the gain set to 70%, and we're recording this in OBS Studio, which we're currently set to 0 dB. So I think it's probably going to be about the best sounding. Now at 70% you may find it picks up a little bit of background noise, so I'm going to be completely silent now, and you may be able to hear the fans in the PC. The PC is approximately somewhere between 10 to 12 inches away, and there are 9 fans in there. So I'll be completely silent so you can see if you can hear the fans. So that is a reasonably good example of the background noise you may experience with this. So let's go over and actually go on the site, we'll do some things, use the mouse keyboard and see what that picks up as well. So scroll down a little bit. You might be able to hear the mouse scrolling. The mouse is roughly, I would say again, probably somewhere in the region of about 8 to 10 inches away from the microphone and is directly to the left hand side of it. So there should be a slight amount of rejection on there. We're going to click on the TONOR TC30. And you probably picked up the mouse click there. So this is the TONOR TC30 USB microphone. Appears to have 5 out of 5 star reviews, so that's pretty good. Price there in US dollars. You can also buy this on Amazon. Links for all that will be in the video description. There will be affiliated links, all that kind of stuff. Let's click on here. So you can probably hear the mouse moving. This mouse does scratch around. It isn't on a mouse pad, so this is, again, worst case scenario. So you can definitely improve on this. We'll look at some of the pictures here. So it is a cardioid pattern microphone. So as you can see there, we've got some off-axis suppression, and it reduces noise from things behind the mic. And in fact, let's test that now. So I'm going to click in front of the mic right now. And I'm going to do exactly the same, roughly the same distance behind the mic. There is a wall almost in front of the microphone as well, so there may be some reverb or actually some reflection of the audio coming from the wall. Again, this is not the best case scenario. This is what I would say essentially is worst case scenario. So it is a cardioid pattern, plug and play compatibility, PS4, desktop, laptop, etc, etc. So suitable for gaming, obviously things like Zoom calls, if you're doing a lot of Skype calls, if you want to get a little bit better performance than maybe what your webcam is currently giving you, then this is obviously a good option. This is the kit, and also got the dimensions there. So the pop shield is 10 centimeters, the mic itself is 15.5 centimeters, the stand as well, 15 centimeters wide, so it's not likely to topple over particularly easily. The mic is relatively lightweight, so it doesn't have a tendency to topple, and the USB cable which is included has a cable length of 200 centimeters. That's 2 meters to normal people. Here's a picture of what you get included in the kit. Obviously you've probably seen that already. This is just really to see what the microphone is picking up on the mouse clicks. So we've got refined pop filter, stable rod, etc, etc. is removable, so if you don't want to use it, you can do. And it's got anti-vibration, as we've seen from the mounting there with that spring mount, which is good for reducing vibration, etc. And in fact, I'm going to try that now. So I'm going to tap on the actual desk, and so see if this comes through. You will be able to hear it, but it's interesting to see if there's any additional pickup. So that's me just tapping on the desk quite lightly. And there's a little bit harder. Again, not the best setup. This is one of those cheap IKEA hollow desk type things, so yeah, they don't sound great anyway. Not ideal for professional style recordings. And again, let's try the keyboard. So we'll scroll down using the keyboard. This keyboard is a particularly clacky keyboard. It is the MSI GK50, or GK30 I think it might actually be. Yeah, GK30. And it has got mechanical key switches which are supposed to emulate the sound of a mechanical keyboard. So that is what typing is going to sound like whilst you're actually speaking. Again, the keyboard is extremely close to the microphone, so you may well be hearing that. So I think that's pretty much it. I'm going to try some tests now with me further away from the microphone. So currently, like I said, this is about 6 inches away from the microphone itself. And let's double that to about a foot. So this is me roughly about a foot away from the microphone. Exactly the same speaking volume, no changes there. So this is going to give you an idea of the rejection and also the quality of the pickup. Now we're going to go for a extreme close-up. So this is me literally right next to the pop shield, and hopefully this will pick up things like plosives and hopefully reduce them. So Peter picked a piece of pickled pepper. This is at 6 inches away. Peter picked a piece of pickled pepper. And about a foot away, Peter picked a piece of pickled pepper. Again, my voice level hasn't changed, or at least not knowingly, so you should get a good representation of what this mic is going to sound like. So there is a sound test. Let's get back to the video. So there you go. There was an example of the TONOR TC30. What do you think? I actually think it sounds pretty decent. I've had a quick listen back to it on my Windows desktop over there. We did record in OBS, just for those of you that didn't realise or I didn't say it properly. The OBS settings had the mic gain set to 0.0. In Windows, we had it set to 70%, and I was speaking the majority of the time at something around about this kind of distance, so maybe about 6 inches or so. There was some instances where I was further back, about a foot, and there were some instances where I was right up like this against the pop shield, which obviously you can probably hear from the audio recording. Well, I think it actually sounds really nice, and taking into comparison how things sound now, at the moment, because obviously I'm using my lav mic, I've got it behind my t-shirt, so the t-shirt itself is acting as some form of isolation and is blocking out some of those noises. Also, I've got a foamy shield actually on the mic itself, on the capsule, so that is blocking out some other things. But because of the way that microphones work, especially these condenser type mics, they do pick up surrounding things. So if you crank your volume right up, you will definitely hear things in the background, such as, again, fridge compressors, fans, PC noise, etc, etc. Now, if you're looking at doing completely professional work, this is going to be a good step in the right direction. You're getting roughly about 90% of the performance of expensive mics, but for around about, I don't know, maybe 10% of the cost. At around about £30, this is a really, really good option in my opinion. If you're looking for one of those really high-end dynamic mics and also then you're going to have phantom power and all the kind of other stuff. You're going to be looking at £300 at least, if not more, for a decent kind of studio quality setup. So for £30 or closer to £40 here in the UK, I think this is a really, really good option and definitely should be something on your shopping list. But ultimately, it's down to what you guys think. So please do let us know what you think about this one in the comments section below. But for now, I've been Mike. This is Mike's Unboxing Reviews and How To, and hopefully we'll catch you in the very next video. Thanks for watching.